Guys, how you doing? It's Joe Vizio here. Got kind of a long story to tell in a short amount of time. So I want to get right on it. You know how I am. So first of all, as always, I hope everyone's doing good and you're getting whatever help you think you need. And I appreciate everybody that sticks this out with me, and it is supportive, it is validating, so I do appreciate it. Having said that, I had a conversation with my mother, and I really wish that I would have recorded this, because it probably would have been absolute gold on Ollie's channel. Now, although I appreciate every subscriber that I have and everybody that sticks this out with me, I'm not a very popular channel. I must not be very good at this or something, because I've been at this for almost a year, and it's kind of slow going on here, but I don't think that I offer a lot of the things that the other channels do. I'm just kind of a dude telling the story, and I can share my epiphanies with you, but that's kind of as far as it goes. But anyway, I don't just set people up or anything, not that anybody else does that, but it probably could have been taken that I set my mother up, and that's why I was recording and all that, blah blah blah. But anyway, long story short, I didn't have a recording device, so I didn't record this. I should have. So I show my mother this picture, and what it is, it's a man urinating on a tree, and the caption says, "When I hear male privilege, this is what I think of." Kind of funny, depending on your level of sense of humor and all. I kind of got a chuckle out of it. And I guess it reminded my mother of something that she had seen earlier that day. Mom had to go to the Social Security office and take care of some Social Security stuff. And she said while she was in there was a guy that was wearing a t-shirt that said "Fuck Donald Trump." And my mother was absolutely offended that he was wearing that shirt into a public place. Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, you shouldn't really be wearing things like that in public places, but we're in different times. And I am a believer. If you don't want to watch something, change the channel. If you don't want to listen to something, walk away. That's a part of freedom. Respecting my freedom, I'm respecting your freedom, even if I don't agree with what you're doing. As long as you're not doing anybody harm. That's the way it is. So, and I'm kind of telling my mom that this is my point of view. Yes, I agree that is inappropriate, but what are you going to do? Because she's talking about she wanted to create a scene in the middle of the Social Security office. So, I told her about this court case that went on. This was years ago down in Kissimmee. A guy was in the court, and he was wearing a t-shirt that had a picture of a pickup truck, and it had 3 girls in the back of the truck with their underwear up their heinies, and the heinies hanging out, and the caption on the shirt said "hauling ass." And the judge had deemed that this shirt was absolutely inappropriate and really gave this guy a tongue lashing, only to find out that was the nicest shirt that this man owned that he could wear into court, meaning it wasn't dirty, stained, didn't have holes in it, all that. And I guess the argument, you could have turned the shirt inside out, but there was a little bit of a backlash over that tongue lashing that this guy got over that shirt, being more sensitive. Although this probably wasn't the case, I did bring this up to my mother. And we started talking about these kind of baby boomeristic rules. And what I had mentioned to her, I said, it's kind of like the hat thing. And I'm a type of person, I've always worn a hat my entire life. I've just felt more comfortable wearing a cap, a ball cap, a kind of the winter knit caps, stocking caps, my do-rag. I mean, I have a full head of hair. Don't think I'm hiding, a bald spot or anything. I guess I got a little one going on up here. I got a sunburn on it once. But, what the hell? I've always worn some kind of a cover. And I've always had to defend that cover. I've had my father take my hats off my head, throw them across the room. When you go to school and everywhere, it's inappropriate to wear a hat in the building. Don't wear a hat in the building. God forbid you wear your hat at the dinner table. That's just rude. That's inappropriate to wear your hat. I remember one time when we were on that Florida trip, I had this plastic Phillies batting helmet that I wore. And my father, fucking around as usual, he took the hat off my head and he's threatening to throw it out the window. And by that time, a gust of wind caught it and my hat went out the window. That was funny because his girlfriend actually stopped the car, made his ass get out on I-95 and walk back to pick up my hat, cocksucker. So, and my point to my mother that I'm trying to make is, why is it rude? What makes that rule valid? I don't get it. If I'm wearing a hat that has a big picture of a penis on it or something like that, okay, take your hat off. But if I'm just wearing a Phillies ball cap, and I always wear that Phillies ball cap, why does anybody have to make me uncomfortable to tell me to take my hat off because you feel better, because you feel like I'm not being rude? And that's why. What makes this? How did we get to this point? And my mother didn't have an answer. She said, well, that's just the way it is. That's the rules. That's how it is, and it's just rude, and that means it's rude. And if you come into my house, you're not going to wear a hat. You're not going to wear a hat at my dinner table, blah, 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 blah. You know what? I'm not arguing whatever you say at your house. Obviously, you would be sitting at your dinner table alone because I'm not going to be there. But I'm just trying to find out why. Why is it rude? What makes it rude? Is this one of those ancient rules that just kind of passed down over time? Maybe the cowboys, because their hat was just dirty and dusty, they had to take their hat off. Well, we're not in the cowboy times anymore. We've progressed. My hats are very clean. Although the ones that I wear at work are a little different, my hats are clean. I'm not riding the dusty trail with my Phillies hat on, giving my horse water out of my hat. That's not happening anymore. So, she didn't have an answer for it, and she's getting mad. She's like getting teeth gritted mad over this. And I'm just trying to, have a normal, intelligent conversation. So, I start to tell her a story. I said, Mom, and this is one of those stories that has a moral, and maybe you've heard it before. I said, there was the scientist, and he's doing an experiment on monkeys. And he has 5 monkeys. And these monkeys all live in this cage, one big cage, and in the center of the cage is a ladder. And if you climb the ladder, you can reach a banana that is hanging from the ceiling. And what happens is every time the monkeys climb the ladder to get to the banana, they get sprayed with ice cold water. So as soon as they get sprayed, of course, all the monkeys come down off the ladder. They don't want to get sprayed with this water. And this just keeps happening until it gets to the point where if one monkey starts going up the ladder, the other monkeys stop him. They beat him up, they pull him down, they stop him from getting that banana because they know they're all going to get sprayed with water. It's a group punishment. So the scientist then takes one monkey out of the cage, okay? And he replaces it with a new monkey. And of course, the new monkey getting in the cage sees the banana. The first thing he does is he tries to go up the ladder to get the banana. The other 4 monkeys just pummel his ass. He never gets near the banana. And this keeps happening until that new monkey learns you don't go for the banana. Now, each monkey was replaced one by one, and the same result kept happening. You put a new monkey in, he goes for the banana, all the monkeys beat him. Even the new monkeys that went through the beatings, now they are in tune to the group. So when a new monkey tries to get the banana, they all beat the monkey up. And this happened until all 5 monkeys were replaced with new monkeys. And with the last monkey, when he goes up the ladder to get the banana, the other 4 monkeys, who technically are new monkeys and have never been sprayed with cold water, stop the monkey from getting the banana. Nobody will go and get that banana. That banana just hangs there because none of the monkeys will go up and get the banana. Why? None of these monkeys have ever been sprayed with water. Not a one of them. They have no idea about that punishment. What they're doing is that they are just doing what the group does to fit in, because that is just the unwritten rule. Nobody knows where this rule came from. It's just a rule because it's a rule. So, I never really got to finish the story with my mother. I got down to the part where, I tell her that all the new monkeys are beating up whatever monkey goes up the ladder. And I said, why these monkeys won't do that, Mom? Why they won't let this monkey get the banana? And my mother's answer, because I'm a bad mother and I won't let you wear your hat. So what happened is, despite me trying to show my mother that this rule is possibly something that just stems from a social thing where everybody does something but that they don't know why. It's just, quote unquote, the way it is. And I'm trying to show her that. Maybe she might say, you know what, I never thought of that. That's funny. Where does that rule come from? Why do we enforce that rule? And she never, no, it was about her. It was about her defending what she thinks should be her rule, and nobody will defy my rule in my house. And, she didn't even have a house. She's in my house. Never even got to the end of the story. She just told me her answer why the monkeys did that is because I'm a bad mother because I won't let you wear your hat. And I didn't say anything to her. I picked up my stuff that I had from where I was sitting, and I picked it up and I just walked away from the table. And I still haven't really said anything to her other than, hi, Mom, I'm going to work, you're going to be alone. At this point, during that conversation, when I got to the end of it, I made a decision. As much as I've tried to hold on to a relationship with my mother, despite what she's done to me throughout my childhood and everything like that, that particular conversation was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. I have decided after that I just need to put my mom wherever she's going to go, into her home or her state facility, or take her up to Pennsylvania to be with her sister, but I'm done. Once I do that, she's not going to hear from me again. I'm not going to stop her from seeing her granddaughter, talking to her granddaughter. I'm not going to have anything to do with her. That whole, you can look at that as that was a narcissistic way of handling the conversation, or that was just your typical baby boomer-esque mentality. Whatever it was, at that particular point, I realized that I just don't want to deal with any person that has that kind of a mentality. They cannot have just a conversation, even if it's a philosophical conversation, that you cannot have a conversation without turning it to yourself and what you're going to do and pounding your fist. And I don't want that in my life. I really don't want it in my daughter's life. Excuse me. But I don't know. My daughter right now loves her grandmother. Although my mom does some stupid things every now and then to her, my mother really doesn't get too much time with her unsupervised. It'll remain that way. But I'm just going to cut myself out. That's the straw that broke the camel's back for me. So, I don't know if anybody has had something similar happen to them. If you can relate, that's awesome. Maybe this helps validate you. Maybe you leaving me a comment will help validate me. If you don't mind, leave me a like or something. Let me think that this channel's going somewhere. And I've always said that's not the important thing for me. I mean, I really don't care too much about this channel being popular or anything like that. It is nice the validation that you get from it, and it's what even more important than that. Just the thought that you might be helping somebody is a pretty big thing for me. This is it's kind of like a return favor to Ollie, because he really helped me out tremendously with his channel, and I figured that maybe my channel might do the same thing for somebody else hearing my stories, and they can validate. So if you don't mind, give me a like or something like that. Tell a friend about my channel, and maybe it'll go somewhere a little bit. Maybe more people will discover it. So it's Saturday. I'm out doing my work thing, so I might make a couple videos today and see how everything goes. And again, every one of you, I do appreciate you. I appreciate the validation that I get, and anybody that this channel does help, I really, I think it's worth it. So thank you very much. I appreciate y'all.